We're in the month of August, and officially 2022 has gone past the half-year mark, right? Now, so much has happened in the real estate industry and in the real estate market here in Nigeria. And today on Real Estate with Chika, we attempt to look at some of the very key and significant developments and hallmarks of the half-year. This way, you can see all that has happened, and this can be a good projection for investors and real estate experts or real estate collaborators alike to look at what has happened and to hopefully forecast what is likely to happen at the tail end of the year. My name is Chika Okeke. Thank you so much for joining us on the show today. Before we go on, please subscribe and turn on the notification button so that you don't skip a bit on everything that will be dishing out, because we will be dishing out really interesting and informative stuff today. So I hope you subscribed. Tap it now, tap it. Tap the subscribe button. All right, so let's get into it. 2022 has been quite an intriguing year for real estate. As you all know, we just started to come out of the pandemic, right? So the real estate market has surprisingly maintained a huge level of agility when it comes to how it has weathered the odds coming out from the pandemic season. So let's create some sort of economic background and context for some of the key developments that we'll be discussing that has happened in our real estate sector here in Nigeria. So of course, we know the pandemic happened. We also know that in part because of the Russia and Ukraine crisis, according to statistics. And please, I'd like to give credit to Northcote, because all of the good stuff I'll be dishing today is borrowings and gleanings from Northcote. So thank you very much, Northcote, for your robust and very holistic reports that you furnish us. So like I was saying, because of the Russia and Ukraine crisis, oil prices have hit an all-time high, in fact, the highest in 10 years. And this, of course, we all know, right? Nigeria, our thriving economy, our emerging economy, is an oil-dependent economy. So that, of course, has affected various sectors of the economy, real estate not left out. When we say that the real estate market in Nigeria has seemingly defied the odds in 2020 for the first half of the year, this is what we mean. Throughout the course of this year, we have seen an increase or growth in diaspora investors for residential retail projects, especially residential projects right here in Nigeria, especially in cities like Lagos and Abuja. Also, we've seen quite a swift and deft approach of developers realigning their developing interest when it comes to putting out development on the market. Of course, we know that with the exchange rate and with the continuous increase in the prices of construction materials, developers are having a hard time, especially when you consider the fact that most of them self-fund their projects. But we've seen developers really, rise to the occasion and swiftly realign their interests and how they can execute their projects, regardless of all of the issues that we've talked about. In huge levels of the investor approachment. So a lot of people who waited out, during the period of the pandemic have returned to the market, and this is why we say that the real estate market has put on a face of bravery during the first half of 2022. Now, as we very well know, election seasons are always a very interesting time in the history and polity of any economy of any country. And so with the elections looming in 2023, investors have seemingly, held on with bated breath. All eyes are really, on the elections to see what can happen and with the trajectory of how things can go, because of course we know that politics definitely affects the state of any nation's economy. And surprisingly also, a huge number of people are still going forward with investment. We all know that during election season, a lot of advantageous, fantastic investment opportunities appear on the scene, on the investment scene, especially in real estate, as people who are contesting for political posts are trying to canvass or amass funds to serve their political interests and serve their political agendas and political campaigns. Now, as is not surprising, the continuous decline in our currency's exchange value has brought about an increase in capital and rental prices. So we're seeing rental prices going up, we're seeing prices of properties going up as well, because our currency continues to decline in terms of exchange value. Another interesting thing that has really taken taken hold right now, especially in the first half of 2022, is that developers are continuing the sequence of investing and creating gated communities. Of course, that is driven by demand, but we're seeing a huge increase and a continuous steadiness when it comes to developers putting up projects in gated communities as well as new cities. So we're seeing quite a number of traction in areas like, for instance, Aja, Shango, Tedo, Abijo, Awoyaya, some areas on the mainland too. We're seeing that new cities are beginning to spring up and emerge. And so gated communities are consistently seeing right now a 25 to 35% year-on-year increase in terms of price growth. Now, for those who have been investing actively in the short stay on the short-term market, they have seen there's been quite a boomerang in this particular subsector. I mean, if you drive by Lekki Phase 1, drive by Ikati, there's no short supply right now of tons and tons of short-let apartments, short-let rentals, and even short-stay apartments too. And it's not expected to end anytime soon. And this interesting thing is, it's not just in locations that, one would think that the short-let rental market would do so well. So we have areas like Lekki, we have areas from Lekki Phase 1, VI to Chevron, but we're seeing an emergence of short-let activity and buzz, even in areas like Aja and even in areas like the Ogombo axis, right? So it's very well looking like the short-let market will continue to hold sway and do so well as a subsector in our real estate market. We're also seeing that according to reports, there's a huge and untapped market in senior housing and retirement housing for the elderly and the aged, right? Those who are looking to retire. There's a huge untapped market, and so developers listening, you might want to begin to tap into provision of housing for the elderly and the seniors, right? There's so many people who live abroad or in diaspora who are looking to get their elderly parents set up in a way where it's comfortable for them to live in a home, it's safe, they don't have to go upstairs, there's provisions for wheelchair access, so that kind of environment where they can live within nature, they can thrive, everything is within their beck and call. It's very important that developers begin to look inwards and begin to see how they can take advantage of this untapped market. Of course, there are still ongoing conversations on the subject of green. So green finance, green housing, sustainable housing, smart cities, smart buildings, energy efficient buildings. These conversations we have seen continue to be a dominant conversation right here in the real estate market in Nigeria, which we're very thankful for. And this is a long time coming, if you ask me. So investors are looking to invest in homes that are smart and that are green. So instead of just four walls of concrete, we're beginning to see a lot of developers pay attention to the provision of green in their developments, whether it's in the use of solar lighting, whether it's in the use of glass walls as opposed to brick or concrete walls. In fact, some developers are going the extra mile as to source for alternative construction materials as opposed to concrete and cement. We're seeing active conversations and research going on in these areas to rethink and re-strategize, what buildings should be, how they should be smart, how water conservation can happen, how light conservation can happen. Of course, we hope to see more of this with the inclusion in the market of huge resort-like developments that pay attention to green, maintaining the natural topography of residential spaces. It is no surprise that it's going to continue that way. Of course, this does great good for our environment at large, and so developers as well as other real estate collaborators are beginning to actively look and seeking to incorporate these in their design models for development. Besides the real estate that we know when it comes to residential properties or commercial properties, there's still huge demand for industrial warehousing, healthcare, logistics, and this we saw at the start of the pandemic season, right? So when the pandemic hit, of course, healthcare was big. A very huge active interest and awakening happened in the healthcare sector. So healthcare real estate became a very big thing. Same thing as warehousing. People no longer could move from place to place to shop, and so warehousing became a very big thing in real estate. So to bring it all together, what have we discussed and what have we talked about so far? Nigeria's economy is projected to grow by 2.9% for 2022. Lagos State continues to be a very desirable location for real estate activity, and so we will not see a slowing down anytime soon. of real estate activities right here in Lagos State predominantly. Also, second tier cities are strongly beginning to emerge. And when we say second tier cities, we mean cities that are not VI, Ikoyi and Lekki and Ikate, for instance. So we're seeing Aja, we're seeing Bugije, Aweya, all the way to Ekpe. So now, simply put into perspective, how does all of this information benefit you as an investor? So first of all, we have seen that the real estate market continues to prove and display resilience. If you are an investor, you're looking for where to put your money, of course, you know that the real estate market in Lagos is undoubtedly a steady place to invest. Of course, land investments are doing very well right now. Undeveloped land, of course, has proven to do so much better than even developed buildings. So if you're looking to invest, now is a great time to jump on a fantastic land development investment that checks out. Now is the time to jump into the residential market, or if you could jump into the healthcare sector or into warehousing. These are great places for you to invest. Of course, we've discussed the short-let subsector as well. It's doing very well right now. So if you're looking, if you don't live in Nigeria, you live abroad, or you don't live in Lagos and you're looking to make money, good money and steady money, now is a great time for you to jump on a beautiful short-let investment in a great location where you can see daily income, right? Also talked about the benefits. I mean, we've talked about how much, benefits gated communities are continuing to enjoy. It is safer for you as an investor to invest in a property in a gated community. Now, speaking about the elections, I know that every time it gets to election season, everybody is like literally on their toes. Everybody's holding their bated breath and wanting to wait it out. But here's what's happening. We're continuing to see, like we've mentioned, a decline in our exchange, the value of our currency and the exchange rate. So this is a great time to tap into what that can afford you, especially if you're an investor who lives outside of the country. It's a great time to invest. We also mentioned that there are tons of mouth-watering deals. Some don't even get to the market. Off-market deals you will never get as soon as election season is over. So if you're an investor, now is the smart time to take your time, do your fact-checking and diligence, and look at investments that are really, really hitting the mark when it comes to transparency and authenticity. Prices of construction materials are not going to come down anytime soon, as we have seen. Prices continue to soar, and as the prices of construction materials continue to soar, we can expect that the prices of property, whether it's a land or a home, will continue to soar as well. Now, couple that with the exchange rate issues, it's just a pot of issues that you have to contend with. So here's my advice: if you're an investor, you live in Nigeria, you live outside of the country, this is a great time to invest. Elections are less than 10 months away. While we all continue to keep tabs on what's going to happen, it's important to, beyond playing it safe, play it smart. So we have just shared tidbits from all of the reviews of the things that have happened in the first half of 2022. What are your thoughts? What are you thinking? Reach out to us on Gainesville Realty if you have questions, or if you want more information, we'll be glad to share. But we do hope that you have enjoyed the rich insights that we have shared on key happenings that have happened in the first half of 2022. We're super excited for the remaining half of the year, but please do not wait, because good investments don't wait. And be the smart investor who takes advantage of investments when they first hit the market, so that you can enjoy all of the appreciation that comes with it. And reach out to us if you have questions, if you'd like a one-on-one consultation, so that we can help you discern where you are and where you're headed in terms of investments and how best to get there. Thank you so much for sticking around with us till the end. Encourage and support us here at Gainesville Realty by hitting the subscribe button. Share this video with as many friends and family members as possible. My name is Chika of Gainesville Realty, and thank you so much for sticking around until we come your way again on another edition of Real Estate with Chika. To have a wonderful week. Bye.